My barricade with internal magazine is finally complete. It's only taken me almost 2 years, so I'll give you a tour of it. We'll start off over here. Power switch. Takes a little while to boot up. And I've got a battery indicator there. It's just running a little bit low. I just got 3 IMRs in the stock battery tray because I chose not to use LiPo, because LiPos are a lot of work and you kind of want to keep them in a fireproof container, whereas these I can just leave in the gun ready to go. Up in the sight here I've got an LED that's just showing that it's empty. If I put some darts in, then it's going to go green. There. So white shows that you're low on ammo. I cut the barrel down a bit and I've actually lost the inner part of the barrel, so it looks a bit open in there. I need to find that and put that in. The rev trigger is actually a power tool trigger that I just got from eBay, really cheaply. The original switch for the barricade is actually still functional. It stops the trigger and the wire for the rev switch goes through it, so that's fully disabled. The main current to the motors is not going through either of those switches. I've got a MOSFET up in the back of the cage that's getting signal from an Arduino, which is in behind here, just in this section here. As the astute will have identified, this is deploy parts, just filling up what would normally be the open part of the barricade. And on the top of this worker stock I made a little spring-loaded flap that springs out to hold the dart in place, but you can push it back to push a new dart in. So I can demonstrate the loading procedure. Let's put that there, and then push it down, and that flap flicks back out. And that holds up to 15 in the worker mag. You'll see those appear down the clear window. To keep that clear, I actually masked it with latex, liquid latex. I just painted it on in there before I started, let it set, and then did all the rest of the paint job, and then peeled it off right before the end. It's just got basically one layer of clear coat on it just to frost it up a bit, otherwise it looked far too pristine in contrast with the rest of the paint job. And that brings me to the paint job. It's this chipped paint effect that I've done once before. I think the other one actually turned out better. It involves painting the whole thing metal coloured, like silver, then putting latex on in little patches, then painting all the rest black, and then peeling the latex off, and it takes the paint with it and makes it look like it's chipped away, and then clear coat over the whole lot to seal it and protect it. So I'll show what it looks like when it's firing. And if I shoot this over my shoulder here, you'll see the green light turn white when the ammo is low. Performance isn't really worth talking about. I didn't intend it to be very powerful, and it isn't. I've got the original cage in there with the original motors, but rapid strike flywheels on, so they're a slightly larger diameter, which allows it to push these darts, because the Barricade's originally shot the original non-streamlined darts, which have a much fatter head on them. So that closes the gap down a bit, but still there's a lot of dart slippage, and I've proven that there's a lot of dart slippage by firing one of the old school ones out, and it does get a much better range. This project has been plagued from start to finish, which is why it took me almost 2 years to finish, to complete. I all but ruined the paint job by using a clear coat that was actually called frosted, like frosted glass, because they were out of matte and satin, that's all they had. So I thought it would be fine, and it actually made it really light and frosted, and I sort of kept putting it on, and I put far too much on, and that's actually attacked the paint there, and that's what caused that to blister up like that. I managed to kind of salvage the colour by recently spraying some satin clear coat on, which did dull it back down to a much darker colour. But still, obviously, there's no saving that mess there. That has been my barricade with internal magazine.